Welcome to Destination Dionna. I'm Deanna, love guide to all and kept wife strategist to the women I'm called to serve. Please consider my channel your self-help learning library for love. Join me every Monday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time for our weekly coaching gem, where I give guidance to elevate your love experience. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m., tune in for Sounds About Wife, where I give my unique wife perspective and prepare professional women like you to become kept wives. So hit that subscribe button and let's start this love journey together. See you soon, my loves. Some of you don't struggle to love. You struggle to let love land. You know how to give, you know how to show up, you know how to hold space, you know how to carry weight and be dependable. But when love is offered to you freely, without you earning it, having to fix something first, or having to prove your value, something inside you tightens. You minimize it. You deflect. You quietly prepare to repay it. And most women never stop to ask, why is this happening? Well, by the end of this episode, you are going to understand three things. Why receiving love can feel emotionally unsafe, even when it's healthy. How that discomfort forms long before relationships begin, and how learning to receive is one of the clearest indicators that you are ready for a sustainable partnership. And stay with me, because I'm also going to help you recognize the difference between being independent and being unsupported. And that distinction, it changes everything about the kind of love that you allow into your life. So hello, welcome to Sounds About Wife, where we talk about the mindset, identity, and relational wealth required to experience love that actually sustains you. I'm Deanna Washington, known as the Kept Wife Strategist, and I am your relational wealth advocate. So what do? I prepare women to recognize quality men, receive love without old patterns ruining the relationship, and reciprocate with feminine contribution instead of masculine efforting. So if you've ever felt uncomfortable being cared for, today's conversation is going to feel very familiar and possibly very freeing. So excited. So let's start with what I consistently observe in, more specifically, high achieving women, right? Many women believe their strength shows up in how much they can handle alone, right? How much they can get done, how much they can make happen, right? They pride themselves on being dependable, being low maintenance, being emotionally self-managed. And I mean, it is Black History Month, so I'm just going to say, culturally, we tend to celebrate that. But here is what the Kepti lens reveals. Many women are not uncomfortable with love because they don't want it. They are uncomfortable with love because they learned very early that support comes with conditions. So here is the belief error that most women never realize they are actually operating from. And it can be summarized in this statement. If I didn't earn it, I shouldn't accept it. Right? That belief sounds responsible. It sounds mature. It sounds like emotional integrity, right? It can also show up in statements like this: I don't want to be a burden. I can handle it. And I don't want to owe anyone. But relationally, that belief quietly transforms love into transaction, right? It trains your nervous system to associate generosity with obligation. And here is the deeper kind of strategic feminine truth. Women who struggle to receive are rarely ungrateful, but they are overtrained in survival, right? Their defaults have been formed based on what they had to survive, right? Many women are also praised for being easy to manage, right? They're rewarded for not needing much, right? They are conditioned to perform stability instead of being supported by it. So now, when someone comes along, a keeper, and offers consistency, emotional availability, protection, care, provision, your mind may like it, but your body braces for it. Receiving feels unsafe. Not because you are unprepared for love, but because your current identity has been built around functioning without it. So let me walk you through how this shows up in real life so you can put yourself here so it'll land even more, because I see this pattern constantly, right? A woman finally meets a man who checks on her consistently, right? He's showing up. He's planning dates. He's reassuring her. He's showing that he's emotionally steady. And instead of relaxing into that experience, the woman actually starts asking herself, is this too much? What does he expect from me? Am I leading him on by accepting this? And not because he has created any pressure, but because her internal blueprint equates receiving with responsibility. So through the Kepti lens, this is not intuition. This is conditioning disguised as discernment. So prepared women don't reject support out of fear of obligation. No. Mm-mm. Here, we are prepared women, and we develop clarity around who is safe to receive from. And then we allow that support to exist without shrinking ourselves to balance it out. That's the difference, right? That is the shift from survival relating into relational wealth thinking and operating. Now, I know that I have a variety of women that follow me. Some are single, some are dating, some are married. But I want to elevate this conversation to the marriage mindset because it sounds about wife. This is wife preparation here. Partnership cannot remain mutual when one person is consistently managing, adjusting, or compensating for emotional balance. So if a woman cannot receive reassurance, if she can't receive rest, if she can't receive provision or emotional steadiness, stability, then she unknowingly turns partnership into performance. And this is where you'll get women saying they're exhausted or they believe femininity is performative. And many women believe they are operating from independence, right? I've been independent all my life. But reality is they're operating from unsupported resilience. I want that to sink in. Many women are operating from this lens that they think I'm just independent. No, you are operating from unsupported resilience. You have had to be resilient because you've been unsupported. That's very different than being independent. Something else to keep in mind, because we're natural givers, us women. Giving without receiving eventually produces resentment, right? And that's why you'll see people in these long-term marriages, these long-term relationships where they have been giving, and it hasn't been reciprocal. It's been one-sided. Eventually, they're exhausted by it. They are resentful of the person. And there's a complete identity imbalance inside of the partnership, right? Receiving is not entitlement, but receiving is evidence of self-trust, right? It says, I trust my discernment enough to allow someone to show up for me. I was telling this story inside of the Kepti Academy today. We have our roundtable meeting the first Wednesday of every month. And I was meeting with the Keptis today. And I told them I frequently would get comments from women that would say things like, oh, I could never let a man be responsible for all the bills and me depend on him. Like, what if he stops? What if he this? I could never depend on that. I always laugh at that. And I'm like, listen, for one, I chose well. I chose well. I have trust in my choice. That's that. But before choosing well, I trust God. Right? I tell you all the time. Yes, Kepties, aspiring kept wives. I'm the Kept Wife Strategist. But the point is, we are first kept by God, then kept by our husbands. First is God, though. So my ultimate faith is in the ultimate keeper, God. So I could walk heavy with that, and women should, right? Amen. Come on, you feel me? I'm getting a little preachy. I'm sorry, but I'm passionate about this message, right? I was telling the Kepties though, I feel confident in that, obviously because of my choice in God, but also think about this: before I was ever a kept wife, I kept myself. I didn't lose the ability to take care of myself because I allowed my husband to. So at the end of the day, I trust that I will figure it out. I don't have to have all the answers. I don't have to have it all laid out for me. I trust that no matter what, I can figure it out. And that's why I can relax and I can allow my husband to take care of me without those worries. If it comes, I'll take care of it when we get to it. Okay? So let's just point out, right? Women who can receive well, they do something very powerful inside of relationships. They create the space for men to lead, provide, and invest emotionally without resistance, which actually stabilizes long-term partnership dynamics. I can't tell you the amount of times I will have women saying, men aren't showing up, men aren't doing this, right? And it's true, right? I'm not debating that. But when I get them to peel back the layers, I'm like, where does he have the room to? Where's the invitation to? You beat him to it every time. You're doing all the things. If you want a man to be masculine, if you want him to provide and you want him to operate there, Don't be in his lane. I don't compete with my husband to do things. If there are things I want him to do, I'm patient and I let him handle that. I work on my looking good and saying thank you and appreciating it, not rushing to get to it because I need to control when it's done, how it's done, all of the things. We need to start being more transparent about what's really going on here. What's really going on here is you all don't want to release control. You don't want to release control. You want a guaranteed answer. You want to know all the steps on the way there. You wanted them people in the car. Are we there yet? What turn are we making? Are we there? You can't just sit and enjoy the ride. I know. It's like, this is why you have to be a Kepti, because I will get all that up out of you. I promise. But seriously, let's pause here for a moment, right? Because this is the point where many women wake up a little bit and they start to have some realization, right? If you minimize what people offer you, if you feel guilty when someone shows up consistently, if your instinct is to downplay your needs, it's not a weakness, but it is conditioning that's revealing itself. I'm sorry. Ooh, that is what I'm dealing with. Wanting predicting outcomes and needing to release control. Girl, I can only talk about these things because I know them firsthand. So you are not alone. You are in good company. That's one of the great things about me. Whatever I'm talking about on here, trust me, it is not from a place of judgment, like I'm sitting up on this pedestal and looking down. Oh no, I'm sitting right here with you like, girl, I'm just a couple steps ahead of you. Let me tell you how to avoid some of these pitfalls. Let me tell you the quicker route to your destination so you can have less pain and aggravation. I went through that, so you don't have to go through that. Okay? That's what this is about. I get it. I completely get it. As a woman who prided herself on, what I could do for myself, what I could handle, what all of the things I did. I was that person. I did have to have control. I did need to know this point to that point. Where were we going? What was happening with all I did? And in trusting myself more first, in reminding myself, Deanna, you are very capable. If you make a mistake, you will figure it out. Do not hold yourself to the standard that you can't trust yourself if you don't know the answers. You cannot trust yourself if you made a mistake before. That's what life is about. Learning. And as I'm just going to say, some of my best learnings and lessons were mistakes. They weren't when I got it right the first time. It's cool to avoid some things, trust me. But I have been able to serve women way better through the lessons I've learned through the mistakes. Okay? So it's okay. You will be all right. You will figure it out. So here's a reframe that I want you to sit with, okay? Receiving discomfort is often a sign that your capacity for healthy love is expanding, right? You're preparing. You're getting ready to shift into allowing someone to give to you, someone to take care of you, someone to provide for you, someone to care for you. Okay? I hope that you can feel relief when you hear this. Some women feel relief, some women feel challenged, and both of them are signals that preparation is happening. So that's the good point. Now, listen, these are the types of relational identity conversations that Keptis practice and embody inside the Kepti Academy, right? This is what's going on. The Academy is not a place where women come to be fixed, though. I'm not a fixer, right? It is where women recalibrate how they see love, how they experience support, and how they prepare themselves for sustainable partnership. Okay. Inside that space, women are learning to recognize love, safe love, to receive without guilt, feeling like they got to reciprocate. And when they reciprocate, it's from their feminine contribution. Their feminine contribution, which is respect, which is admiration, which is affection, which is acknowledgement. Okay? Instead of what they've done in the past, which is efforting. You are taught efforting through survival. Okay? So if any part of this conversation felt like, language you've needed, something you needed pointed out to you, the Academy is where that lens becomes daily practice and community culture. So we invite you in. The links will always be in the episode notes, okay? And here's what I'm going to leave you with and what I want you to carry with you throughout the week, okay? You are not asking, and let me look at you. You are not asking for too much when you desire support. You are just learning to experience love in a way that allows you to rest inside of it instead of working for it. Okay? And let me remind you, women who learn to receive, they often discover that the love they wanted was never even far away. It was actually just waiting for them to have the capacity to hold it. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching on the replay, leave me a little comment, say replay, and I will see you all next week on the next episode of Sounds About Wife.